So you watched the Brain Pop entitled Cubism. It talked about the beginning of Cubism, talked about Pablo Picasso and Georges Braque. And it went into how Cubism takes shape. And that's the reason we're learning about this art movement. Cubism is an art movement. Um, the reason we're talking about it right now is because you just finished your shape project and we talked about shape. So Cubism, if you look, and just ignore that says for a grade. That don't worry about that. This is just the only copy I had at home. If you look at these examples on this cube, and you look at the one at the top from Braque, or Picasso in the middle, or Dave Murray, which was a more modern example of a Cubism artist. If you look at these, they look very flat. Okay, it doesn't look like they have much depth. And remember, I told you that shape is two-dimension. It's going to be height and width. You're not going to see that depth so much unless they incorporate some shading. And that's what you see over here. This goes into value. You see the word value right there. And that's our next element. So we're going to talk about Cubism with shape, and then we're going to finish it up when we talk about value. So at the top, it says in 1906, two artists, Picasso and Braque, started working together. They began to paint still life pictures and portraits in a different way. Their paintings show several viewpoints of each object. The person or objects are seen from different angles, like from the front and from the sides all at once. Okay, and then they used geometric shapes, not so much free form. It was going to be pretty straight lines. Remember, it wasn't the organic. That's the opposite of geometric. They tended to use geometric. So when we're looking at this, and we see those geometric shapes, those angles or circles, not so much the squigglies. The point of Cubism, like it said right here, the point was to look at the object. So, this woman, or this woman, or hopefully this is a guy. I'm pretty sure this is a guy. To look at these people as if you're seeing them from different angles, like you're seeing them from the front and from the side all at the same time, or from the top and from the side, or from both sides all at the same time. And so that's why it looks like the eyes are, wonky, or it looks like you're seeing their nose along with, their full ear and their full nose all at the same time, when in reality, that's hard to do. And it was because the point of it was that you're seeing different angles of your subject all at once. So imagine if you could see the front and the back of something at the same time. That was the point of Cubism. It was just to create these different angles. So if we look at this one, this sketch, if you look at the whole thing, it's like, oh, okay, I'm looking at the front of her face, right? But then if you just look right here, follow this, it's like, oh, that's the side. So if you totally covered this part up with your hand, you're like, oh, that's the side of her face. There's I'm seeing the side of her nose, the side of her mouth. But then when you back up and you look at the whole face, it's like, no, that's the front of her nose and that's the front of her mouth. So that was the point of Cubism, to see multiple angles at the same time. So what you're going to do is just this middle part. Just this middle part. Don't worry about this part over here just yet. We'll come back to that when we discuss value. So the question in this middle is, it says in the space below, describe what parts of Picasso, right here, and Braque, right here, what part of their work could have inspired the work of Dave Murray down here? Okay, so that's what you're going to write right here. Write an answer to that question. How did these two inspire this one? Okay, and then you're going to put it behind your brads in your folder behind your shape notes. Once you are done with that, Then I need you to make sure that you have finished everything you owe me. Your pointillism rainbow, make sure your name's on it. Your shape, whatever you decided to draw for your shape project with your name on it. Make sure both those things are turned into the white wire basket. That you have put your shape notes and these cubism notes behind the brads in your folder. And then once you're totally done with all of that, then there is a packet that has like a word search on the front. Then you can work on that packet until I return on Monday. Okay, but make sure you have everything that's for grade, both those projects, turned in. Okay, alrighty, I will see you guys on Monday.